General Francis Omondi Ogolla's life, distinguished as it was by decades of military service, was not without controversy. In fact, the final years of his career, and even his death, were shadowed by intense public scrutiny, political debate, and unanswered questions that continue to linger in Kenya's national memory. The most prominent controversy associated with General Ogolla stemmed from the 2022 presidential election standoff, often referred to as the Bomis controversy. At the time, serving as Vice Chief of Defense Forces, Ogolla was accused by former IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati of being part of a delegation from the National Security Advisory Council that allegedly attempted to influence the outcome of the election. According to Chebukati, the group pressured him to alter results in favor of Raila Odinga or force a runoff. The situation deepened when President William Ruto later disclosed that he had held a private man-to-man meeting with Ogolla before appointing him as Chief of Defense Forces in April 2023. In that meeting, Ruto claimed that Ogolla admitted to visiting Bomis during the tense electoral period and presented three options: face a court-martial, retire, or be forgiven. Despite this, Ruto went on to appoint him as CDF, a decision that sparked both criticism and support across political and public spheres. Ogolla's defenders, including senior political figures, insisted on his integrity, arguing that he acted within the scope of his duty. Reports also emerged of a message he allegedly sent during the crisis, stating, "Sir, this is not about security, but about politics," suggesting he may have been caught in a politically charged situation rather than actively attempting to subvert democracy. The second major controversy arose after his death on 18 April 2024, when the military helicopter he was traveling in crashed in Elgeyo Marakwet County. Almost immediately, speculation spread across the country. Some political leaders and commentators questioned the official explanation, suggesting the possibility of assassination or deliberate sabotage. Concerns were raised about why such a high-ranking official would be assigned what some described as an unfit aircraft for what appeared to be a routine mission. In response, a military board of inquiry released its findings in April 2025. The report concluded that the crash was caused by a critical engine compressor stall shortly after takeoff. Investigators cited technical evidence, including excessive engine temperature readings, and ruled out pilot error, poor maintenance, and foul play. Despite these conclusions, skepticism has persisted in certain quarters of the public. A smaller but notable incident occurred in 2023, when a former Kenya Defense Forces officer was charged in court for spreading false information and harassing General Ogolla online, resulting in legal action and a restraining order. Yet, beyond these controversies lies the broader story of a man whose life was defined by discipline, service, and steady ascent through the military ranks. Born on 12 February 1962 in Siaya County, Francis Omondi Ogolla grew up in a modest Kenyan household. His father, Mzee Joel Ayeyo, would later live to celebrate his 100th birthday shortly after his son's passing, a symbolic marker of generational endurance. Though less is publicly known about his mother, she remained significant in his life, even being referenced in his will through a cherished family Bible she once owned. He also shared close ties with his siblings, including his brother, Canon Hezekiah Odor. Ogolla's early education began at Nduru Primary School and later Lala Primary School in Homa Bay. He proceeded to Kisumu Technical School and eventually Amukura Boys High School, institutions that laid the academic foundation for his disciplined path. His pursuit of higher education reflected both intellectual ambition and professional focus. He earned a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science, Armed Conflict, and Peace Studies with first-class honors from the University of Nairobi,
followed by a Master of Arts in International Studies from the same institution. He also obtained diplomas in military science and international studies from Egerton University. His military education extended beyond Kenya's borders. He trained at the prestigious École Militaire de Paris in France and graduated from the National Defense College of Kenya, equipping him with strategic leadership skills at the highest level. As a professional soldier, he also underwent specialized training in the United States, qualifying as both a fighter pilot and instructor pilot, and gaining expertise in imagery intelligence, counterterrorism, and accident investigation. Before fully committing to military life, Ogolla briefly worked at Price Water. However, in April 1984, he enlisted as an officer cadet and was commissioned into the Kenya Air Force in May 1985. This marked the beginning of a career that would span 4 decades. Over the years, he steadily rose through the ranks, holding key command and leadership positions. He served as base commander at Laikipia Air Base from 2008 to 2014, commanded the Tactical Fighter Wing, and later became deputy commander of the Kenya Air Force. In July 2018, he was promoted to Major General and appointed Commander of the Kenya Air Force, a role he held until 2021.
He was then elevated to Lieutenant General and appointed Vice Chief of Defense Forces in July 2021. In April 2023, despite the cloud of controversy surrounding him, Ogolla reached the pinnacle of his career when he was appointed Chief of Defense Forces, CDF, becoming Kenya's highest-ranking military officer and principal military advisor to the president. Operationally, Ogolla brought both local and international experience to his roles. He served as a military observer in Yugoslavia between 1992 and 1993, gaining exposure to complex international conflict environments. Within Kenya, he was known for his aviation expertise and leadership within the Air Force. He also served as chairman of the Military Christian Fellowship and co-chaired the Association of African Air Chiefs, reflecting both his faith and continental engagement. Away from the uniform, Ogolla was a family man. He was married to Aileen Kathambi Ogolla, who played a prominent role in the military community as chairperson of the Military Wives Association of Kenya. Together, they had 2 children, Lorna Achieng Omondi, a senior professional at Google, and Joel Rabuku Omondi Ogolla, who frequently accompanied his father at public events. He was also a grandfather to Taji Mbarara. Despite his high office, Ogolla was widely regarded as frugal and grounded. His will, written in 2012 and made public after his death, revealed a man focused on his immediate family. His estate, valued at approximately Kenya shillings 150 million, was distributed primarily between his wife and children. His wife received 50%, including property on Haderu Road in Nairobi and his service benefits, while the remaining 50% was shared equally between his children. His daughter inherited property, shares at NIC Securities, and a sentimental family Bible, while his son received land near Siaya Airstrip along with other personal assets. In a striking and often quoted clause, Ogolla left no inheritance to extended relatives, concluding simply, "To all my relatives, good luck." He also gave specific instructions that his personal clothing be destroyed after his death. On 18 April 2024, General Francis Ogolla's life came to a sudden end in the helicopter crash that also claimed the lives of 9 other military personnel, leaving only 2 survivors. He had been on an official mission to inspect school rehabilitation projects and visit troops in the North Rift region. In the end, Ogolla's legacy remains layered, marked by professional excellence, personal discipline, public controversy, and a death that continues to provoke reflection. He rose from humble beginnings in Siaya to the highest office in Kenya's military, embodying both the possibilities and the complexities of leadership at the national level.